You're watching Mashindo's hometown station, HTV1.
Hello everyone, it's Brett Boyd from the Market House, where we have adjusted our hours to serve the community and keep our community and our associates safe. So now Market House is available to you from 9 until 6 every single day, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an exclusive shopping hour for seniors from 9 to 10. And don't forget our text shopping service as well, 517-234-2020. Market House is here for you.
Tired of having everyone know you're coming before you arrive because of your exhaust? If so, then it's time to call the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. RS Custom Exhaust has all the tools and parts to make your vehicle quiet again. And for you sports car enthusiasts, if you're looking for the roar to be the king of the roads, RS Custom Exhaust can help you too. With free estimates and first-class service, RS Custom Exhaust has your vehicle covered. So stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
From Mashindo's news leader, this is HTV1 News at noon.
Well, coronavirus numbers continue to climb, but with the focus shifting to reopening, the question is what's working and what isn't when it comes to slowing the rate of infection. Well, good afternoon, Ms. Shendo. I am Scott Pienta. Well, taking a look at the official numbers as of yesterday, Branch County reports 70 cases and 2 deaths. According to WTVB, and another prisoner has died at the Lakeland Correctional Facility, bringing that count to 16. Hillsdale County has 137 positives and 20 deaths. Lenawee County has experienced the most dramatic increase across the area recently. Now they're confirmed up to 110 confirmed cases, but they'll also continue to report any relatively high recovery rate, with exactly half of that, 55 people now out of isolation and improving. County health officials have stated that they believe increased testing accounts for that spike. Lenawee still only reports 2 confirmed coronavirus deaths. Now they count 22 probable cases, 16 recoveries, and no deaths in that category. Steuben County reports 51 positive coronavirus cases, 14 recoveries, and 1 death. Now there are 31 confirmed cases in Williams County, 11 probable cases, and 1 death. Fulton County remains at 28 confirmed cases, 1 probable case, and no deaths. So how well are we doing at staying home during the pandemic? Well, the University of Maryland is helping to figure that out. Using anonymous cell phone data, they've been able to track the motion of people throughout the crisis, county by county, across the country, and determine the number of trips per person out of county trips, work and non-work trips, and other statistics. Now they've also developed what they call the social distancing index, and the higher the number from 0 to 100, the better people are doing at staying at home. The data shows that most of us were on board with our state's emergency orders at first, but as time has passed, we've gotten a little antsy. The first full day of Michigan's stay-at-home order was on March 24th. On that day, 26% of Michiganders stayed at home and achieved an SDI of 36% of Michiganders stayed at home and achieved an SDI score of 56. But the most recent information from May 2nd shows that only 32% of the Michiganders are staying at home, bringing that SDI down to 52%, to 52. Indiana, Ohio's orders took effect on March 25th. Indiana's started out with 32% of Hoosiers staying at home for an SDI score of 48, but as of May 2nd, 23% of us were staying at home, and the SDI dropped to 33. Ohio began with 33% of Buckeyes staying at home for an SDI of 52, but as of May 2nd, that is now down to 25% staying at home and an SDI of 37. Those numbers will likely drop even further across the board as all 3 states continue to reopen for business. Well, county by county, the latest data shows 24% of Branch County residents staying at home and social distancing index of 31. 23% of Hillsdale County residents are staying at home with an SDI of 31. 25% of Lenawee County, and they puts them in an SDI of 34. Only 18% of Steuben County residents are staying at home, with a notable 43% of trips going out of the county, but an average distance per person around 27 miles, putting their SDI at 30. By comparison, most of the Meshendo area is showing about 25 to 35% of trips being out of county, and the average distance being 30 to 35 miles. 20% of Williams County is staying at home, and they have the highest average of trips per person at 3.7, bringing their SDI to 27, the lowest in the area. And in Fulton County, 21% of people are staying at home with an SDI of 30. Now, according to a study based on the research and cited by the Coldwater Daily Reporter, while the researchers say that their data shows that the government advisories and stay-at-home orders have not accomplished the expected change in travel, and those who were able to adhere to social distancing rules began doing so before government intervention. You could see the data and interactive map by visiting data.covid.umd.edu. Well, turning to local events, last week, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine suggested that schools should hold drive-in graduation ceremonies, and Bryan High School thought that was a pretty good idea. Well, the Times reports that the Golden Bears will hold their graduation ceremony in the bus lot at 2 p.m. on Sunday, May 24th. Each graduate will be allowed to park one vehicle in a designated parking space facing the stage near the entrance to the building. Grads can bring one guest per seatbelt in their vehicle. Now, only grads plus selected staff and administrators will be allowed to participate in the bus lot. Other guests will be allowed to park in other locations on campus, but stage visibility will likely be limited. Otherwise, the ceremony will be held in mostly the same format as usual, with the speakers from the student body, staff, and administration at the podium. Graduates will leave their vehicles for their diploma procession in their caps and gowns, all maintaining social distancing. It will be held rain or shine, but if there's lightning in the area, it will be postponed until May 31st. The plans also change in the states as the state loosens restrictions on if the state loosens on large gatherings. Northwest State Community College is taking the other approach suggested by the governor and hosting their graduation online. The Times says the pre-recorded virtual ceremony will present 157 degrees to 147 students and feature graduates who were each sent a care package with their cap and gown, the diploma cover, a yard sign, and other NSCC items. Ohio Department of Education Chancellor Randy Gardner will be the featured speaker. Now, you could watch that ceremony at 2 p.m. this Saturday, May 9th. That will be on the college's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Northwest State CC. Meanwhile, Adrian College earlier this month made the decision to postpone their commencement ceremony, and now they've set the date. The Daily Telegram says Sunday, October 4th, during homecoming weekend, will be when the class of 2020 walks down the stage. Now, senior staff members wanted to hold the graduation on one of those most anticipated weekends of the year, and about 67% of the grads agreed with the plan. Activity adjustments will be made according to the state guidelines at that time, but the traditional festivities are expected to take place in one form or another. College President Jeffrey Docking will serve as the featured speaker. Now, the ceremony is expected to be held on Commencement Plaza, but in case of weather concerns, it could be moved to the Marlott Sports and Fitness Center. And Swanton has asked for more time to decide on the 2020 Fireworks Festival, and the company that puts on the show has agreed. According to the Enterprise, Village Administrator Rosanna Hosel says American Fireworks is aware of the pandemic situation, and they've agreed to extend the terms of that contract. Now, the village has already paid $12,500 for this year's event, and according to that contract, they would have lost that money if they had failed to cancel before April 28th. The extension means that if the Public Service Committee decides to cancel the event, the village will only lose $6,250, half of that initial down payment. And elsewhere across the area, local governments are trying to figure out how to handle reopening. The Herald Republican says Angola residents are still encouraged to use online and mail-in options, but city buildings are tentatively scheduled to reopen next Monday, the 11th. Safety precautions will be taken, including entrance screenings at City Hall. And, get my teleprompter here. When asked about reopening dates, Fremont Clerk Treasurer Kathy Parkins told the paper that the town officials have come up with a plan yet, but they'll let us know when they do. Now, Hamilton, however, has reopened their town hall with the appropriate safety precautions in place, including mandatory face masks. But as with Angola, Hamilton residents are encouraged to use online or phone services or the town hall drop box unless absolutely necessary. Steuben County plans to reopen next Monday, but by appointment only. Again, residents are encouraged to conduct their business with the county remotely as much as possible. And the City of Bryan has reduced its employee hours and partnered with Shared Work Ohio to make that process easier. The Bryan Times says city employees who are likely to see their hours cut will be able to seek unemployment benefits while still working. Williams County Commissioner made a similar decision last week. Now, those changes come off of local governments all across this country expect tax revenue losses due to the pandemic. Also in Bryan, BMU has extended the suspension of utility shutoffs until June 20th. Customers are still required to pay their utility bills, and those who are having trouble afford them are encouraged to contact the utility or local charities such as United Way of the Community Action or the Community Action Agency. Well, still ahead, local fair officials are still navigating the pandemic as they try to determine if, when, and how they'll hold their events this year. And Michigan's Attorney General is using no uncertain terms in telling one local city to play by the rules. Now, you're watching HTV1 News at noon, and it will continue right after this.
There's a reason that professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They expect quality, service, and knowledge. And that's exactly what they receive. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been family-owned. We take pride in serving our area with great products at competitive prices. We have dedicated project estimators in-house that will help figure the materials needed to complete your next task at hand. Whether you're building your dream home, adding a pole barn, building a deck, updating your kitchen, or painting your front door, let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project.
Authentic Mexican food is just a short drive away at El Cerrito in Coldwater and Hillsdale. The variety-packed menu has something for everyone, with classic Mexican dishes, El Cerrito specialties, and tasty treats for dessert. Don't forget the best margaritas in town with margarita specials Friday and Saturday. And carry-out ordering is great for work lunches or picking up dinner for the family. Make your next meal a fiesta for your taste buds at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
Well, as things currently stand, the Steuben County 4-H Fair is still on for July 17th through the 23rd, but officials say that could still change. As WLKI reports, Indiana's 4-H program is administered through the Extension Office of Purdue University, which is still under a face-to-face interaction ban until June 30th, leaving some 20 county fairs in limbo across the Hoosier State. Purdue is expected to make a decision about July events on Friday, May 15th, and 4-H families should get word of the plans by the 19th. Meanwhile, a statement from Fulton County Fair President Dennis Wise says the board still hopes and plans to hold that event, but when and how still have yet to be decided. A statement published by the Village Reporter says the Fair Board is monitoring the situation and working with the Fulton County Sheriff and the Health Department. Now, they expect to have a rough plan sometime in the June when the commitment to provide the best experience possible in a safe environment. The fair itself is slated for September 4th through the 10th, according to the Swanton Enterprise. Wise asked for everyone to be patient, look after your neighbors, support small businesses in the community, and extend patience and kindness to others. And fair officials across Ohio will find things a little easier on the wallet this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, according to the Enterprise, Governor Mike DeWine announced late last month that the Department of Agriculture is waiving the $50,000 local match requirement for the Agricultural Society Facilities Grant Program. That means all county and independent fairs in the Buckeye State will be eligible for the $50,000 grant without a local contribution. The program helps fairs make necessary facilities and ground improvements. AG Department Director Dorothy Padella says that she understands the financial requirements the pandemic represents, and this will help fairgrounds maintain their facilities despite the challenge. Meanwhile, Governor Mike DeWine is cutting $775 million from the state's budget over the next 2 months as tax revenue falls due to the pandemic. WLKI says the state went from running a $2 million surplus in February, $200 million surplus in February to nearly $750 million drop last month. Now, DeWine says he's cutting spending to avoid tapping into Ohio's $2.7 billion rainy day fund, at least until the new fiscal year begins in July. He says for now, the budget can be balanced with these cuts, and the rainy day fund money will be necessary later this year and into next year. $335 million are being cut from the school's budget, and $210 million are being cut from Medicaid. Now, state agencies will also immediately freeze new requests for contract services except for those necessary for emergency response. The word from Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel to officials in the city of Hillsdale is no. The city cannot exempt itself from Governor Gretchen Whitmer's executive order. WTVB says Nessel issued guidance yesterday to local governments across the state, just days after Hillsdale Mayor Adam Stockford made headlines for saying that the city would protect any business that decided to reopen despite Whitmer's orders remaining in effect. At play are two different laws that give the governor the authority to issue those orders in a state of emergency. A 1976 law requires any emergency orders to be voted on by the state legislature after 28 days, but a 1945 law allows the governor to issue emergency orders without any approval from the legislature. The Michigan House and Senate have been at odds with Whitmer over her orders, voting not to continue them last week. But Whitmer used the 1945 law to issue continuations after those votes. Now, Hillsdale City Council has also challenged the governor, passing a resolution late last month that called on her to immediately rescind what they call extreme measures. And on the topic of those orders, Michigan Chief Medical Director Josie Caldoun says doctors now have broad discretion to decide whether or not to continue delaying non-essential medical procedures. According to the Associated Press, Caldoun issued the guidance on Sunday before reiterating it on Monday's press conference. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has restricted those procedures 6 weeks ago in an effort to preserve supplies and personnel for the efforts to fight the COVID-19. While that order remains in effect, Caldoun says doctors have the discretion to determine what care is necessary and urgent for their patients. A Coldwater man is facing charges for a break-in after being released from jail in Calhoun County, and 2 Hillsdale County jail inmates have been charged for a contraband conspiracy. Those stories when the news at noon continues.
The Saucy Dogs is the name and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville.
Does your vehicle sound like a tractor putting down the road? Then you need to see the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. They will give you a free estimate along with first-class customer service. They custom make any exhaust needed for your vehicle. Stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
Hello everyone, it's Brett Boyd from the Market House, where we have adjusted our hours to serve the community and keep our community and our associates safe. So now Market House is available to you from 9 until 6 every single day, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an exclusive shopping hour for seniors from 9 to 10. And don't forget our tech shopping service as well, 517-234-2020. Market House is here for you.
A Coldwater man is facing home invasion charges for a September break-in. WTVB says 27-year-old Jeffrey Elkins is facing 7 counts for second-degree home invasion, breaking and entering, and stealing a firearm. He's currently behind bars on $25,000 bond and is scheduled for a preliminary exam in Branch County District Court today. He was booked at the Branch County Jail Friday after serving the time in Calhoun County, where the Michigan Department of Corrections says Elkins was convicted on 2 counts of possession of firearms by a felon. 2 Hillsdale County jail inmates have been charged with smuggling contraband into the facility. Now, the Daily News reports that the Hillsdale County Prosecutor's Office has filed charges against 20-year-old Ryan Demron and 26-year-old Cody Zimmer for possessing contraband and conspiracy to furnish contraband to prisoners. Prosecutor Neil Brady says investigators reviewed phone calls and video footage to find that Zimmer had contacted a person outside the jail named Tyler Gibbs. Now, the 2 men spoke in code and never explicitly mentioned drugs, but Gibbs was instructed to leave the contraband in a wastebasket that was accessible to the public and is regularly emptied by inmate trustees. Brady said that drop-off happened, at which Damron, who was a trustee, retrieved the contraband and delivered it to Zimmer. But by the time authorities searched Zimmer's cell, they couldn't find any drugs. Zimmer had a long criminal record with multiple meth-related charges, and Damron is in jail for joyriding. Gibbs is on felony probation for marijuana delivery. If convicted on the current charges, Zimmer and Damron each face an additional 5 years behind bars. They'll also be assigned $20,000 bond in a new case with 10% allowed. And in sports news, the virtual tracks will take a back seat once again as NASCAR prepares to continue real-life racing in a couple of weeks. According to the WTVB, there will be 2 Cup Series races within 4 days at the Darlington Raceway starting on May 17th. There won't be any fans in the stands for those events, and the seats will be empty for the Memorial Day weekend Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte as well. Now, the NASCAR season is suspended on March 13th due to the coronavirus pandemic, and drivers, both concurrent and former, have been competing in virtual races during the hiatus. No decision has been made on races at Michigan International Speedway. As the Daily Telegram reports, the Firekeepers 400 was scheduled for June 7th and another race slated for August 9th. NASCAR officials reportedly know already that some tracks will lose races this season, and they plan to announce those cancellations before the race at Darlington. One potential schedule listed a probable doubleheader at MIS in August, but neither the Speedway nor NASCAR officials had confirmed that. Well, we may not have seen the Thunderbirds or Blue Angels locally, but part of the Meshendo area will get a flyover from some F-16s today. We'll tell you where and when after the break.
El Cerrito's variety-packed menu has something for everyone. With generous servings and lots of flavor, you'll think of it as a fiesta for your taste buds. Dine in or carry out at El Cerrito on Chicago Street in downtown Coldwater and Carlton Road in Hillsdale.
There's a reason that professionals shop at Jonesville Lumber. They expect quality, service, and knowledge. And that's exactly what they receive. For nearly 100 years, Jonesville Lumber has been family-owned. We take pride in serving our area with great products at competitive prices. We have dedicated project estimators in-house that will help figure the materials needed to complete your next task at hand. Whether you're building your dream home, adding a pole barn, building a deck, updating your kitchen, or painting your front door, let Jonesville Lumber help you with your next project.
The Saucy Dogs is the name and barbecue is the game. Come on down for a good time and some great food. At Saucy Dogs, try our barbecue nachos or our tasty ribs. We'll have you howling for more. Saucy Dogs, downtown Jonesville.
Well, if you live in Fulton County, you should look to the sky in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. The Ohio Air National Guard's 180th Fighter Wing will be conducting flyovers to salute healthcare workers, first responders, military members, and other essential personnel this afternoon, according to the Swanton Enterprise. From 1:45 until 2:15 today, they'll be flying over Toledo, Napoleon, Defiance, Archibald, Wauseon, Delta, and Swanton. They'll move on to other parts of the state for the rest of the afternoon. Those flights are being conducted in conjunction with regularly scheduled training missions and could be adjusted depending on mission needs or weather conditions. You're encouraged to watch from home and avoid gathering in large groups. Those are the top stories today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow for HTV1 News at noon. And don't forget, it's National Nurses Day, so you can also thank a nurse while you're out there. And you can also find more news in our live broadcast streams 24/7 at htv1.net. For all of us here at HTV1, I'm Scott Pienta. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and have a great day, everyone.
Tired of having everyone know you're coming before you arrive because of your exhaust? If so, then it's time to call the experts at RS Custom Exhaust in Hillsdale. RS Custom Exhaust has all the tools and parts to make your vehicle quiet again. And for you sports car enthusiasts, if you're looking for the roar to be the king of the roads, RS Custom Exhaust can help you too. With free estimates and first-class service, RS Custom Exhaust has your vehicle covered. So stop and see them today, located at 1461 Vera Drive in Hillsdale.
Hello everyone, it's Brett Boyd from the Market House, where we have adjusted our hours to serve the community and keep our community and our associates safe. So now Market House is available to you from 9 until 6 every single day, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an exclusive shopping hour for seniors from 9 to 10. And don't forget our text shopping service as well, 517-234-2020. Market House is here for you.